Alrighty. I haven't even updated the thumbnail image for this stream, and I don't know if I will. I mean, I guess I'll give it a shot. Let's see if I have a thumbnail image I can use, like, right now. Man, I do not. Like, I gotta browse my hard drive and find something. Give me a minute. Ooh, a picture of the sun. Is that compatible? Can I use a picture of the sun as a thumbnail? Okay, that was not my intent, but it looks cool as F. Okay, let's find something else. We're gonna find. Let me think here. What do we want to use? We want to use what folder? I don't even know what folder I keep my thumbnails in. How about that? Now, I have a vague notion of where I keep these things, but I got a little organizing to do. Now, fun fact, I nearly lost a crap ton of data. A crap ton of data, not even kidding, like 14 terabytes of information because of a mishap that I was very fortunate to, like, address. Now, I got this water out because I'm currently sanding down some Gundam model kits. But right now, let's see. First things first, let's open up Photoshop, because I think if I open Photoshop, Photoshop will have the folder or the directory where, like, you know, where you know, the thing I need to do, the save location, I guess. So we're gonna find it. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna go click Save for Web, and then luckily, bummer. All right, we're gonna use a different search method. So let's see here. I mean, it's really not necessary, but I just feel like I should have, like, a thumbnail image, you know, for a live stream, like a quality thumbnail image. But as I understand it, nobody has tuned in yet. I'm gonna click that save button, so if somebody jumps in the chat, I will be able to see it. And then we can get on with the show, or at least kind of segue from topic to topic. Now, I'm probably going to just do some video editing while on stream. Maybe I'll play some Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, because, yo, that game is off the hook. So all these people playing, you know, Starfield, I'm playing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And I'm loving it, man. I mean, it's all right. I had to, like, watch a YouTube video clip to see how to beat the very first boss. But overall, it's pretty straightforward, you know? I mean, like, it's not like, you know, it's not like an insurmountable thing. Oh, my phone was going off. So, you know, there's that. Right now, I'm just, like I said, I'm searching my drive for thumbnail graphics. So I made a discovery, though, and this is the video. I got one of the videos I have to edit, because I feel like that's how I'm going to convey that point, or convey that topic. Basically, what happened was I was installing a new fan in my computer. I was installing a, like, low RPM, a very quiet fan. I think it does like 9 decibels when it's, like, using its default RPM, and when you use the low noise adapter, it's 6 dB. So it's like a very, very quiet fan. I can't find what I'm looking for. It's like I have to go browse for it and find it myself. I think I'm getting warm. Ah, here we go. I found a folder full of graphics. So I just want to put, like, something. You know, I got like a selection of thumbnail images here, and I feel like I need to pick something, you know? Um, I'm thinking either pick an edit flow or equipment experimentation stream. This picture is cool because I had a thumbnail image where it's me editing, but then there's a picture of Punk Waddle. I need to like I need to get this image without the word review in it. That's what I need because like I think this is great. I love looking at my turtle. She's funny. Look at that funny little face. That is so cute. Gotta do some activities with my turtle tomorrow. We can use like one of these trading cards from the Stargate franchise, but I don't know if that'll meet the resolution requirement. I would click Black Friday special, but I feel like we're gonna do edit flow. We're gonna do edit flow. That's the one we're gonna do today, even though I didn't get my hair cut yet. Okay, so we gotta basically just copy the folder path. And then I'm gonna tell YouTube to use that thumbnail. So all I gotta do is go here and replace this picture of the sun with lingerie pictures. Yeah. That's lingerie pictures. Yeah. Apparently those are like in my OneDrive. But anywho, yeah, that's a OneDrive folder I haven't even touched in a while. I really gotta do some spring cleaning on that, or I guess we should call it autumn cleaning. We're not quite in autumn yet, but we're gonna be there soon. Yeah, so okay, good. Everything's primed. People can jump in, chat. And look, I'll share a link out the chat. But anyway, so I'm working on a Xeon Zaku, right, from Mobile Suit Gundam. I was originally going to assemble a V-Dash Gundam model kit from Victory Gundam, but I discovered a missing part. I have a hunch where all of my missing parts are, but until I find them, I don't want to resume work on those models. I just noticed my studio lights are off, but anyway, there's like a seam right here, and I'm probably going to leave it since it's pretty consistent throughout. But I feel like, okay, that I really can't do anything about right now unless I really want to get fancy. I'm not painting this model kit. I decided that the next few Gundam model kits I do, I'm not painting them. Get the GTFO, I'm not painting them because I know, I mean, it's obvious. Like I said to someone a while back, I go, painting them really increases the amount of time it takes to build a model kit. And he's like, well, yeah. The guy responds like, well, that's kind of the point. And I'm like, well, yeah, you got me there. Okay. The stream should still be on. As soon as my internet connection comes back. Oops, seems like you have connection issues. Oops, something happened to the connection. Please stand by while we restore the connection. Okay. So the connection should be back any second now. I said the connection should be back any second now. These are the connection issues you are looking for. Okay, good. I think we're back. Yeah, I'm sorry. I pulled the plug on the back of my computer while turning on the light. I gotta do a little spring cleaning, like I said. But yeah, we're back. Good. So as I was saying was painting a Gundam model kit really adds time to it, which is sort of like self-evident, but I wish it wasn't. Well, I wish there was like some easy way to do everything. So I decided I'll probably do all my painting with my 3D printing for now. Because that seems more logical. Now this seam isn't really a seam. That seems to be like a functional aspect of this shape. Although that's a seam. That is a seam. So if I really want to get OCD about it, I could do exactly what I was already doing, which is using 800 grit. Let's say I got 800. I have a 400 grit somewhere. I dropped it while getting up, so that's unfortunate. This one here is 2000 grit, so that's going to be like radically different. This one here is supposedly 1000 grit, but this is the roughest sandpaper I got right now. So I guess I'm not going to use the, oh, here it is. Good. So obviously having a flexible piece of paper has its advantages, right? We can do some like, trick like this maybe. I don't know if I should be doing that on top of my desk, but whatever. So we can do something like this maybe. I don't know. I'm not an expert at all. I'm just kind of guessing. And, I'm totally, this is amateur hour. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend that like I'm some kind of model kit expert, because I'm not. But I'm going to guess that sanding along the seam will help to reduce the seam. And you know what? I don't care if I rough it up a little bit. I got the sanding twig that can smooth it out. So we start with this particular sandpaper. And in fact, if I had all of the sheets of paper for this particular set, I could just add water to these and use it for wet sanding. But for now, we're going to use the sanding twigs, since those have, gradual increases in grit. Because the goal is, you start with the lower grit. You'll do like, say, 400 grit or 800 grit. Then you'll do like 1000 grit, let's say. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of rough sand it. And then I'm going to add water to this, because it's already supposedly 1000 grit. And we're going to see if that'll help us smooth out the roughness. Because obviously, we're scratching it up right now. We're scuffing it up. We are getting rid of the seam, though. We are removing enough material to get rid of the most noticeable parts of the seam. So I ordered a new Victory Gundam model kit, but what I'm going to order first next week on payday, I'm going to order like one of the V2 Victory Gundams. Basically, in the TV series, animated series, Mobile Suit Victory Gundam, they got like the V Gundam, they got the V2 Gundam. The V2 is sort of like, obviously like a revised unit, a second generation model. And our main character, our protagonist from the cartoon or the anime series, gets to obtain it when his original mobile suit has, fought its last fight. And the Victory Gundam is my favorite Gundam because it's transformable, and I can, if anybody wants to see like some examples, I can show the box for the Victory Gundam. In fact, I have like 2 versions of it right now. And in one of them, I'm upset I'm missing a single piece from that kit. So, I mean, it might not be a showstopper, because with a transformable mobile suit, the core fighter, the cockpit, sometimes they give you 2 sets of cockpits to use. So I may be okay, but that's the thing. So the Victory Gundam has a fighter, basically. They call it the core fighter. And the core fighter isn't like, it's not like the Marine Corps. It's like core fighter as in the core of the ship. The cockpit, where the pilot sits, happens to be a fighter plane. So when you look at a Gundam, it looks like a robot. It looks like a transformer. Imagine if, instead of an ejection seat, the entire core of the ship can eject and become a fighter. That is basically, how the original Gundam works, and that's how a lot of later Gundams work. And that applies to the Victory Gundam. And the Victory Gundam is extra unique because my telescope, I'll tell you how that went, Slim Nim. It's good to see you, buddy. I got Slim Nim in the chat. Obviously, anybody watching on replay could click the chat replay. I'm not really, in a position to control the chat right now. I mean, it's not that hard, but, I just verbally call it out, Maybe one day I'll add that automatic fancy chat overlay so that I don't have to control it myself. But yeah, telescoping went well until the weather did not permit. Then, right now we got humidity. We've had rain. But you know what? I had a lot of good days lately. So, I'm not complaining this time. Normally I complain. Like, my friend's wife, She really wants to see my telescope. No, no, that sounds like a euphemism. My friend's wife really wants to see my telescope. It sounds dirty, doesn't it? But no, she really wants to use my telescope. And so I tell her, look, maybe I'll come over someday when it's rigged for imaging, just like when we do a live stream together. And she could see, like, you know, what it looks like on a computer screen. She's like, I want to see it through the eyepiece or whatever, not, or, you know, in person. And I explained to her, like, you know, basically it takes like a lot of work to retool it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta like remove the camera, move the lens, rebalance it, you know. And she's like, I'll pay you to like do that. I'm like, look, one day I want to look through it too, because I love looking through the eyepiece sometimes, but most of the time I'm gonna do imaging. And like last time I did eyepiece viewing was when I was having problems with the imaging equipment. Until I could fix the camera issue, I decided I'll just, you know, look through it. But no, I have some good images, and if we want, we can try to go down and look through them. But you know, at some point I need to do maybe I feel like I might push it off to the week. I need to do an image processing stream, because the problem, I mean, not the problem, but the thing is that, you know, when you're done taking pictures on a telescope, you got to process them. You got to almost like Photoshop. You're not really photoshopping them, but you basically got to Photoshop them in so many words in order to like combine the raw data. Because I take pictures in black and white, but I'm using color image filters. So, you know, that's technically not black and white. It's just that I need to use another program. I need to do the color integration manually. And that's because I'm using disparate filters, disparate settings to capture colors. But, you know, I'm not going to go OCD about this piece here. You know what? Like, I mean, I want to go OCD about it, but I kind of want to see, let's see how the leg looks when I put it together. And if I could take apart the leg once and redo it, because that's one thing about Gundam models. You can usually take apart some of them. It's just that you weaken it, and there's the legs. Yeah, that's part of the leg's endoskeleton. And yeah, the question is, apps to tell you exactly what you can see. Problem is setting up beforehand. Yeah, you know, the apps are easy. So, you know, I use Stellarium, and if I'm at work, I can use the web browser at work to access Stellarium Web. And that's like the web browser equivalent of Stellarium. And it's a phenomenal application, you know? Okay, good. So the leg armor, as you can see, snaps on. But like I say, like if I remove it too many times, it gets a little rickety. But at some point, I might be willing to glue it on. So if I have to remove it once and it snaps on neatly, great. If it gives me trouble, I'll glue it on the second time, you know? But this is essentially on a Xeon Zaku. And if you don't know what a Zaku is, I'll show you a picture of one in a minute. The Xeon Zaku has like these little power conduits that connect from the leg to the knee or from the knee to the leg. It's just a design feature of the Zaku, and looks like this one's kind of falling short a little bit here. Probably have to snap it together before it sits into place. So we're going to do that right now. So yeah, and so we're going to go and we can do a little search in memory lane. Now, obviously, there is a mobile version of Stellarium I can certainly show you. Oh, something don't line up right here. Oh, I see. Wait, did I pick up? Oh, there we go. That looks like it belongs, right? So I do use a version of Stellarium for Android, and what's cool is that version can be linked to the Windows version or to the Linux version. It can be linked to the telescope. So there we go. That's one leg right there. That's looking pretty good. This is a hobby grade or high grade model, and high grade is basically the lowest grade Gundam model kit you can get. I mean, look at the instructions for the high grade. So you can get like an idea that it's not like the most intricate Gundam model kit you can get, but it's not bad either, because like a lot of these can be very intimidating, you know? So it's nice to know that we already got one leg. I mean, I was sitting here for like probably an hour at this point, maybe like 40 minutes. And essentially the trick is use what they call flush cutters. I gotta speak to an expert and ask him, like, am I doing something wrong? Because this is a good pair of high-end flush cutters. This is Tamiya. They make the best paint and best stuff and whatnot. Well, among the best paint, maybe not the best, but they make very good model tools. And this is because when you cut the plastic pieces off of the sheet, you're left with like nubs sometimes. So you gotta, like, basically, if you are half-assed about it and rushing, you're gonna have big nubs that you need to sand off. But if you like are slow and methodical about it, you can usually work your way in a circular motion. Celestia, oh dude, Celestia, that's fire. You know what else is cool? You know what? let's go and play with let's play with what's that space one called? Space Engine. Now, Space Engine's used, I think, for a lot of weird stuff. I've seen people use it, like, you know, like astronomy YouTubers when they want to, like, show different, like, you know, phenomenon or different stellar events or different things in space. And so, like, if you ever watch that Russian guy, he lives in Korea. He's not a Rusky, but I mean, he's got a Russian accent. His name is Anton Petrov, and he does a video show called What the Math. And it's like he'll go and he'll just be like, for a while there, like his videos back to back to back were always him just using Space Engine, from what I could figure, to show different stuff. And I think eventually he got like tired of that, or realized that people were gonna get tired of that, and so he stopped doing that. I got a phaser pistol, by the way. So we're gonna get Space Engine real quick. I'm gonna close some of my stuff. As you can see, I had left some things open. In particular, I got the, you know, sheet here for the Gundam model. I have good news. I fixed my OBS, so my Stream Deck. So my Stream Deck used to have trouble doing this. I have an ultra widescreen monitor. So the top part above the secondary camera. So this is my secondary camera. This is cool. Like what I can do is I can like put it like this, make it blurry, and boom, now you got ambiance. Right? Say it with me, ambiance. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So anyway, so like I can like put it like this off to the side where it's like more or less out of my way. And then whenever I switch to ultra wide mode, I have this ambiance shit going on. Yeah. Sometimes this video is good, sometimes they're boring. And then so on an ultra widescreen monitor, we can zoom in. We can go and show you the right third of it, or more or less the left side of it, and then this is the leftmost side. So you can see like left side, center, and the right side. So then when I go like this, boom, now you got like the ultra wide view. So I was kind of juggling. Once I fixed the underlying problems, for like a month ago, I was having a hard time fixing this. It wasn't cooperating at all. Now maybe all I gotta do is like adjust the timing, like so that everything happens in a certain order, so that you don't get like that like abrupt, like I don't know, changeover. But this is acceptable. So for now, let's close out the stuff I have opened. Oh, that's interesting. Let me see what happened here. This is supposed to work. Open source directory. Yeah, that's the source. It must have malfunctioned. Oh, it malfunctioned when I pulled the network plug on my computer. Okay, that's understandable. I'll worry about that later. Oh man, I got some upcoming content. I got videos on how to like fix subtitles. Like if you have Japanese anime and you want to fix the subtitles or something, I have like I have a video coming up on that, so that's gonna be pretty exciting in my opinion. But first, okay, we're gonna jump into Space Engine. So let me just make some adjustments to my sound properties, make sure that the correct sound device is set. And we actually don't know what happens when I open this. We're just gonna kind of see. But Space Engine is super duper cool. So I think you're gonna like this. Similar to Celestia. Celestia, from what I can ascertain, it requires plugins to make the most of it, and certainly this program can, you know, benefit from plugins as well, but it's not like a necessity, you know. Like you get a lot done without plugins. And so right off the bat, it's asking me, okay, do I have an Oculus Rift? I do not. But speaking of that, Slimnam, you've been using, have you been using PSVR? And I want to say hi to Ravencorp. I don't know if you're a sub. I think I remember seeing your name before, but if I haven't met you before, it's a pleasure to meet you, Ravencorp. So let's fire this up. We're gonna play Space Engine. I just restarted my flip top tab thing. Flip top. That sounds familiar. So messed up, it won't play YouTube. Wow, flip top. Okay, I'm thinking about hip top. You know, the Sidekick phone, right? Remember these things? Well, you know, the T-Mobile Sidekick. Yeah, this is actually it actually says somewhere in the back, I think it says hip top. Especially the earlier model was referred to as a hip top, and eventually I think that was just like, I don't know, maybe that was a code name. It was manufactured by Sharp Corporation, and this was made in Japan at the time. I mean, maybe there's some Chinese parts, but this was made in Japan. But I'm not sure what a flip top is. I hope I'm not showing my elderliness or ignorance of modern technology. So it looks like it's still loading. My Windows Task Manager says that my GPU is doing what it does. I'm not currently recording, but I'm streaming this, and the CPU is doing its thing. Yo, dude, yeah. So I gotta do. I keep putting off, but I started editing a video on editing subtitles, but in the middle of the process, I went to add another fan to my computer, and I nearly lost 14 terabytes of data. This is insane. This volume disappeared basically, and the way I had to fix it involved doing something that seemed like the opposite course of action, and it worked. I was blown away. Wow, man, I haven't opened this app in so long. It's still building the shader cache. That happens sometimes. It's one of those things that, you know, happens. On my Steam Deck, it updates the shader cache as part of the routine updates. Okay, so you don't have a VR. That's cool. How well can, like, subs work? When you say subs, are we talking about subscribers or subtitles? Because that's what I was talking about before, was the subtitle editing. But if I'm misunderstanding, please clarify. I definitely would be happy to answer that question while waiting for these shaders. 54%. Oh boy. About to open up something else while this loads. So anyway, one of the alternatives I use is Stellarium Web. So anytime I'm at work and I don't have access to the desktop version, oh, how well, okay. So if we're talking about like subtitles in anime, so this was interesting because what happened was I picked up the Macross movie, or Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Do You Remember Love? Right here, you got that beautiful manga art. And I bought this because there was no American version available. And so I had to buy the Japanese version that does not have English subtitles. And so that means that I have to add subtitles. Now I figured out there are two ways to add subtitles. You can add temporary subtitles. So for example, we can actually demonstrate that by going into the folder here. Now this folder has a rip of the movie itself. But if I was to put a Blu-ray disc in my Blu-ray drive, and in particular, this particular movie, I could go to the menu up here and say, open disc, Blu-ray, and as long as that Blu-ray can play through VLC media player, I can add subtitles on a temporary basis. So for example, this is the beginning of the movie here where aliens are speaking. And you do get Japanese subtitles, but these are part of the video, so they can't be toggled on and off. But if I right-click on the video and I go here, add subtitle file, I have these two subtitles that I downloaded from opensubtitles.org. And the SRT subtitle is a basically white font, black outline. It's a very simple, very widely compatible. And so that's usually preferable when you have doubts about compatibility. But this format here is called ASS, which, yeah, I know it says ASS, but it stands for Advanced Substation Alpha Subtitle File. And so if we pick that one, not only do I get, instead of getting white text on the bottom that superimposes on top of the kanji, now I'm getting blue text that sits on top of the screen. So anytime aliens speak in this movie, we get blue text. Anytime Japanese people speak, or anytime someone sings, we get this pink text. And anytime Japanese people speak, you get yellow text. So she's saying, you know, Delta 1 to Armored 1, Skull Angel and Apollo teams, you know, so that's all right there. And you get the cool Macross song. For anybody who watches Robotech and Disney Street Perder, I see you. I see you, and good evening. And it's good to see you too, David Glenn. Thanks for dropping in, guys. So, how well can live subtitles work in a different language? They work very well. So, here's the thing now. When I downloaded the subtitles, they were out of sync. So, like during all of these scenes, it was about 14 seconds behind. And that includes right here when the title comes on. So this particular format, ASS subtitles, has the reverse italicization, sort of like old school Microsoft Word art or WordPerfect. It has a red font that matches the kanji letters. So obviously this part means SDF Macross, Super Dimension Fortress Macross. The red kanji means Do You Remember Love? And so ASS subtitles are way cooler than the other format. But both of these files here originally were out of sync. So right here, so this one, all you get is one size. they have to do caps lock to make it big. So I prefer the ASS subtitles when I can use them. So adding them temporarily is great, but we want to add them permanently. And what we do is we would use a video encoder like Handbrake. And so we would open the movie in Handbrake like this, let's say. And we can literally go here and import the very subtitle file that I just used. And if they were out of sync, I could manually put an offset right here, but I don't like doing that because it takes like anywhere from like an hour to an hour and a half for it to re-encode it before you can preview it. Because a live preview does not work on subtitles. So how do we solve that? We use Subtitle Edit. And this app, pretty much you just drag and drop the subtitles into it. So for example, for SDF Macross, we'll put the movie on the right side. And we'll put the subtitles on the left side like this after it opens the movie. I still wait for it to open. Oh, okay, that's why I wanted to do that. Okay, that's okay. So anyway, we're going to drag and drop the subtitles to the left now. And if I go to the beginning of the movie, to the first line of the movie, it's already good. But originally, this text here was 12 seconds behind the first syllable. So what I did was I had to like pause it at the very moment the first syllable is being spoken, which was at 52.2 seconds. Then I would click this button right here that says set start and offset the rest. And it would literally take the first like text subtitle and move it to that precise timing at 52.2 seconds. And anything that came after it would just be shuffled back. It would be like a ripple. Hey, what up, Zach's Tube? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Well, we got a lot of superstars here tonight, man. We got David Glenn, Disney sheep herder, who herds the sheep on Saturday night, as well as moderates for Snowdub. But yeah, so long story short, these subtitles were very reliable. I was able to download these subtitles from opensubtitles.org. I was able to, you know, make sure I can precisely get them synchronized, and I was able to do that with 2 formats of subtitles. And then now I didn't have to use the offset in the video encoder that I just misplaced. Where's the video encoder? Did I close it? I think I closed it. Oh well, we can reopen that. I don't know why I closed it. Anyway, whoops. That is a Google search. But we want to explore space right now, don't we? Right? We want to use Space Engine to go into deep, deep space. That is the plan right here, gents. So real quick, we'll touch on subtitle encoding. But bottom line is that once I downloaded the good subtitles, all I had to do was like import them over here like this. And I can even give them names. So in my case, what I did was I actually put like English. And I put the subtitle format. So in this case, it was Advanced, Substation Alpha. And then I did the other subtitles. I imported the other type, which was the vanilla subtitles, which are SRT. And from there, we're good to go. I can use a preset, or we can walk through all of the settings manually. We have to add the audio tracks. The second audio track is a duplicate of the first one, so we delete it. And don't worry, there's a video coming out on all of this. So I'm doing the quick and dirty right here. And one of the cool things about using a video encoder is you can keep the Blu-ray audio track if you select pass through. And that will give you like a perfect copy of the original audio track. But if you don't like, for example, the original audio track is 600 megabytes. Or something like that, some obscenely large file. So if I want to get it to be smaller, I would use AAC. It's basically, for the same bit rate, it's better quality than an MP3. But me personally, instead of picking 160k per second, I bump it up a little bit. And that's for the stereo sound as opposed to surround sound. But anyway, enough on that. I will have a video coming out on that soon. But yeah, I also have a video coming out on how I nearly lost this 14 terabytes of data, or 16 it's basically 14.5 terabytes of usable capacity. That was a fun tribulation. But let's get to the Space Engine. So I guess we got to zoom out here, right? Got the little ambiance. I got my phaser pistol right there because I'm Captain Pike. Let me know if you guys want me to change the resolution so that the image will be different. It's been a long time since I've used this app, but if I remember correctly, we would just browse it like this. And so, let's see, I don't want to fly a ship, I just want to fly around. And if I remember correctly, let me see, and I don't remember correctly. Like, for example, okay, we're in orbit of Jupiter right here. And if we use the, the WASD keys, we can do that. But what's even cooler is we can control our velocity. So if I remember correctly, using the mouse wheel will let us... Whoa. Made a mistake. Right. Let's fix that. So we're going to fly towards that star. How about that? I believe that's our parent star. I hope that's our sun. So, so now what's cool about this game... Whoa. Too fast. All right, let's slow it down to like 20 AU a second. We'll get there in no time. I trust my ability to fly in space. Okay, we're going to go 15 AU. 1 astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Whoa. All right. We're going too fast. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, see that? Look at that. Now, one thing is when you get near any star, you see these little points of light that look like stars. But they're not stars. They're planets. And so now we got to, like, lower our speed to approach what looks like a star, but it's not. Whoa. Okay, too fast. And look at that. This star has more stars around it. And some of the information in this game is based on real data. So this is sort of like a fancy Celestia. Whoa. Okay, there we go. And so I'm currently running at like 0.4 the speed of light. Oh, thank you, Zax. Yeah, I did hit 200 subs, and I do have to thank Deleted Scenes for that. I dropped in on his stream like towards the last quarter, and I mentioned that I still have more subs than Punkwaddle. Which, by the way, please guys, if you're not subscribed to Punkwaddle, please subscribe to him so that he could have more subs than me. You know, he actually puts out consistent content on a weekly basis here, you know? I mean, so he deserves it. So now, what's these points of light? Because remember, at a distance, all this crap is going to look like stars. And that's why when I look at Jupiter to my telescope, I see 4 points of light that look like stars, but they're really just Jupiter's 4 largest moons. Europa, Ganymede, Io, Callisto, and the other one. And in fact, that one looks like a pretty significant rock right there. So we're going to fly towards it. And as you can see, like, I'm careful about inching up the speed here. So which one is that? That looks like Europa. That's Europa. So if you've seen the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, I think they go to Europa, and this is the one. Oh shit! What button did I just press? All right, let's try. Oh, okay. Well, okay. We're in the neighborhood, I think. All right, I might have made a mistake. I was just looking at the object. Okay, it looks like I somehow flew away from Europa by accident. All right, we're going to come back. Whoa, no, I don't want to click on that yet. Let's go. Okay, come on. Come back to Europa. Come on, we're going to go back to Europe. Which, Europa, I believe, is Spanish for Europe or some shit like that. And I'm sure I'm speaking loud as heck, so I'm probably overcoming the music. But if anybody has any trouble hearing me, just let me know. All right, so now, this is where this game gets interesting, is we're going to lower our velocity. And I know I'm not doing it quite right. It's been a hot minute. I probably should have played with this in the afternoon to like remember how it worked, but I don't know. It's a cloudy night, and I just suddenly had some inspiration to play with this. So we're gonna just kind of roll in like a bird eye view. And this planet looks like it's rotating right now. Either that or I'm moving. I'm not really sure which. Oh yeah. It is moving. And usually with a lot of these, it'll update the terrain when you get really near something. Now, it doesn't always do it. It looks like it did it here. So it is trying to give us like some accurate representation of the terrain on this particular icy rock. And if I remember correctly, Europa is the one that has like those weird looking canal things on it. So of course, this is more like almost like procedural rendering at this point. But if we get a wide shot again, we should be able to see those icy canals once again. Because I think it's the wide shots, the ones that we got from the Voyager probe. Yeah, these shots. These are the ones that tell the real story. And so we think that maybe there's like convection currents. We think that it's like an icy shell. And that in this icy shell, you have an ocean, a subsurface ocean under this icy shell. And that you have basically the equivalent of hydrothermal vents facilitating for, you know, that liquid ocean. And so there may be intelligent life in the form of whales or some kind of cetacean, or maybe just some fish kind of living under this. And these structures we're looking at, they're real. I mean, these are like from the Voyager probe, basically, from the raw data from that probe. And so we can do solar system objects, but this game, of course, doesn't limit us to our own solar system. Like, if I could remember how to use the search button, we could do like, and if you guys have a stellar object you want to name, no, you can't eat Slim. Name it. No, I'm kidding, man. You have a good night, man. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very, very much for dropping in, and may the Schwartz be with you. And yeah, so anyway, if anyone else has any stellar object you'd wish to see, let me know. I'm going to try to think of one right now. Something cool, you know? Something not boring like Earth. Let's try Callisto. We're going to stay in the Jovian system. Or we can do Ceres. Let's do Ceres. Ceres, of course, is the asteroid belt object from the Expanse. So we got to crank up our speed a lot. Because remember, it takes months to fly these distances, and typically you have to fly in an orbital path. Luckily, we're not playing Kerbal Space Program. We're playing Space Engine, so we can pick up speed. And you know what? Before we go to Callisto or a Ceres, we're gonna see what this point of light is. I bet you it's Earth. Oh. Going too fast. Oh, shit. Pardon my French. That's Earth. See that? And this is what Earth would look like. You know, I remember there was an Enterprise episode where they look at some star and they go, see that point of blue light over there? That's Earth. And no, it's not. Because, like, you know, how are you going to see Earth when you got this bright mother effer here? So on that episode of Enterprise, they would have seen our star. They wouldn't be seeing Earth from wherever they were. But then again, on Enterprise, the NX-01, it had such a low warp speed factor. Maybe they were at just the right angle and they were close enough that they could see Earth separately from the sun. Oh, whoa, whoa, okay, I went in the ocean, my bad. That could be fun. We got some fun in the ocean. We can maybe go Free Willy. You know, the movie with the whale, not Free a Willy. No, we're not going to do that. This is not that kind of channel, guys. Okay, maybe we do that on Circle of Jerks. No, okay. On Circle of Jerks, they discuss a variety of topics, and so I do recommend you guys do check out Zach's and, you know, hang out with him and Abomination. Who the hell? No, who's that guy? Was it Abomination AJ? Who's the other guy? I think it's Abomination. Oh, look at that shit. Hell, if we want to just goose up our speed, we could pick one of these things. We can literally fly into a mother effing nebula right now. I don't like that I landed on the ocean. Like, come on. Like, who cares about the ocean? Unless I can see freaking whales here. Okay, good. We're going to go here. Let's see what's here in the land mass. How about that? I don't know what to expect. We're going to find out. Yeah, AJ. Yep, AJ and Flaccid Phoenix. So, half the time I think that Circle of Jerks is on your channel, and then I've seen it on the other guy's channel. But, you know, we see these guys. They come in pairs. They come in a group sometimes. It's pretty cool. Cruise missile! Now, unfortunately, we don't get any destruction physics here, but that's okay. Because we're going to go and, let's see. We were supposed to go to Ceres, right? And this kind of gives you an appreciation for the scale of the Earth, you know? Because, you know, you get into a pretty tight orbit and it would almost look flat, you know, and just for reference, like, let's see here how close we can get. Like, we're still like 100 kilometers up at least, you know. There is a mode in this game where you tumble like you're some kind of like capsule, sort of like that movie, The Right Stuff. But like, oh, you see that? That's the Aurora Borealis, or is that the Aurora Australis? It's one of them. You can see the solar. Yep, that's the Aurora Australis because we're in the South Pole. There's this guy I don't really watch lately because I kind of got tired of his stuff, but I don't even know if I should be advertising his YouTube content because he's sort of, I'm not going to say he's insane because I think that's marginalizing people to call him insane. But what he does is he likes to like look at pictures of Antarctica and make claims like that giants are living there or some shit. And it's like, he's got usually pretty incomplete data. Oh, okay, so I see what Ceres is not selected right now, so we're going to reselect Ceres. And then we're going to pick a nice nebula right after Ceres, I think. Like, I think that's the Pleiades right there. Yeah, that's the Pleiades star cluster, so we can pick that one. And if the screen size isn't, like, right, let me know. Maybe I'll adjust the screen resolution. But considering Disney Sheepherder just said nice views, we may be doing something right. Oh, that's one thing I like about this game is, like, the obscene velocity that you can zip by something. I mean, obviously, you can't fly at 44 times the speed of light normally. Oh. Okay, so Ceres is cool because Ceres is the, rock from The Expanse. If you guys have watched The Expanse, the show with the Belta Loda, that one. And let's see if we can kind of just get, like, and it's got some interesting features, like we got this blue stuff here. I don't know if that's cobalt or ice. Well, can't really, I don't know if it's far enough to be ice. It might be ice, but don't quote me on that. It is gravelly. So on The Expanse, they say that what they did was they built some infrastructure on the outside of Ceres, and then they hollowed out the inside and made tunnels, and they spun it around so that they would have artificial gravity. The problem is that you would end up with a lot of debris flying off the surface of this if that happened. But while we're here, we got an opportunity to do something. So even though this isn't the moon, we got the sun directly to the right, more or less, right? So we have like a nice half and half shading. And sometimes I get into arguments with friends about whether the moon is what the moon is. And they'll argue that the moon isn't what they say it is, they in quotations. Because, how is it that you can have this perfect shading and then as it's becoming more or less from, the shape, it suddenly starts to look like a crescent. And really, just having something that simulates proper light physics, like from the sun, you see a crescent here now. And if I just slowly crank my way around in like an orbit, eventually I'll be on the side of this thing that makes it less and less crescent-y, And I know it's not a scientific term, but you can see now we're less crescent-y. And then if we want to have that other, shape where we have a dark side crescent, we kind of have that, like, shaded sliver now. And I want to say what's up to swashbuckling supersonic soprano September. And it's good to see you, bud. He was, I'm actually, I'm honored to be a valued member of the Castlevania Club on, swashbuckling supersonic soprano September. And if you want to be part of the Castlevania, if you want to be a valued member of the Castlevania Club, consider, subscribing and dropping in on occasion. But yeah, Ceres is pockmarked a bit like our moon, but it's an asteroid belt object. And speaking of, forget about asteroid belt objects. So, okay, Ceres is not just an asteroid. It is a minor planet. It is a dwarf planet. What other dwarf planets we have? Well, we got like, we got Eris, for example. And not only is that a friend's fiance's name, that is a, actual solar system object in the outer part. This is like out past Pluto's orbit. And yet, it is an object that is comparable in size to Pluto. In fact, sometimes they look at it, the astronomers look at it, and they're not sure if it's more massive or less massive than Pluto. But as you get to these weird objects, these dwarf planet objects that are outside Pluto's orbit, one of the weird problems you start running into is they get these really wide elliptical orbits. And that's a whole other topic. I gotta maybe prepare some of the graphics, the image files for that, to kind of put together a little presentation, because and I sent an email to a coworker once who wasn't interested at all, which I understand, but I have all of the orbits for some of the dwarf planets. You cannot look at the solar system in one shot. Anything that shows you the whole solar system in one shot is not nearly showing it this scale whatsoever, and that's okay. But when you understand that it's obscenely large at scale, it gets pretty wild. So that's Eris, the dwarf planet right there. Oh, went too far, smashed into the planet, but okay. I believe this is a simulated surface at this point, because I don't think we have this much raw data on Eris at the moment. But if we zoom out again, we should be able to switch from the simulated surface to the real surface, although this is probably not too inaccurate of a facsimile, because we, you know, can get a lot of data from spectroscopy, basically the color of the light that bounces off the object. But I believe the New Horizons probe did manage to get some good images of Eris, and so there we go. That is a Pluto-sized planet that, you know, is why we don't call Pluto a planet. We kind of do, but like, I guess the point is, if you want to call Pluto a planet, then you got to call this a planet. Now, I can't spell it, but there's a place called Humea. There we go. I got the spelling right. Okay, we're gonna hit go to. Wait, whoops. Okay, it said object not found because I gotta, I guess. Oh, good. I can hit a go to button. I don't have to fly to it. So now this is a weird one right here. So I didn't even know I can't pronounce that. Humea. I didn't know this shit had a freaking ring on it, but apparently they must have detected enough particulate matter to conclude there's a ring. But what we do know about it is it's got this weird shape. It's got this egg shape. And it is my conspiracy theory, my pet conspiracy theory, that this is where Rodan, the monster of monsters, is going to come out and fight Godzilla someday. And then you call Lizzo a planet, it's a slippery slope. Exactly! Well, she certainly ain't no dwarf. She certainly isn't what I would call a little person. Now, is it true that dwarves and midgets like to be called little people now? Like that's their preferred political correct term or whatever? I mean, that's cool. I'll respect it, you know? But I ask because we certainly are not calling Lizzo little people, right? But yeah, you can see like this got like this interesting pogmog texture. I suspect this is somewhat infrared. Actually, this might not be too infrared. I believe we do have a pretty clean picture of this one too. But these minor, you know, planets are just kind of cool like that, you know? Now, we could also do something that I'm going to do with Saturn, because I don't expect anything to come of what I'm about to do right now. I'm going to fly into these rings, but Saturn's rings, of course, are much more accurately, you know, imaged. You know, we actually know what's in Saturn's rings. This, it looks like it's going to just bullshit us and show us nothing when I fly through them. Yeah, I mean, look, maybe it could. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! It's like the opening of Star Trek Voyager. Da 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 da. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, there is a button I can press to slow down time. Because right now we're in an orbit, right? So I should probably slow down my orbit. And oh man, looks like I lost it. We're going too fast. We're gonna go inside the ring again. We're gonna go inside it. Then when we see the dancing rocks, we're gonna play with time. And I believe I can do that two ways. I believe I can press a button somewhere down here. Like I can pause time. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Oh shoot. Damn it. I keep doing that. Ring systems are weird like that, you know? We're gonna go up, up, up. We're gonna go up, 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 up. Oh yeah, there we go. But yeah, you know, that's like what you would see from inside. It's probably a bunch of ice and stuff like that. And if I unpause it, I'm moving way too fast for it to make sense. But we could try to slow down time a bit. Okay, so this is the velocity button. We need to slow down time. So I think if I remember correctly, okay, good, we got it. So there we go. Now we're slowing down the speed of time a bit so that we can actually see what's going on here. It's typically like we could, if we were a spaceship, adjust our velocity. I just happen to be adjusting the speed of time right now because I don't know how to control anything like a spaceship here. But yeah, you know, that's what we got going on here. So I know I said I'd go and leave our star system, but I think I want to go visit Saturn right now. So let's go visit Saturn before we go and do that. So we're gonna go and click Saturn. Go to. Thank goodness I don't have to fly it a long way, huh? So same concept here. Now we could try to check out the hexagonal shape. Now, why is there a hexagon up there? Some people believe that there's a physical tower structure built in there by some ancient, crazy alien race. I'm inclined to think it's probably related to the reason that snowflakes are shaped the way they do. Maybe something to do with the interaction of water vapor and, you know, vortices or storm clouds and currents and convection currents and all of that shit. That's my theory, but it's not very well hashed out at the moment. So now I gotta be careful, right? We gotta lower our velocity. Careful. I'm gonna Star Trek Voyager this thing again. I'm gonna go Maquis like Belana Torres. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I slow it down a little bit. Now, once again, okay, so it looks like this is a pretty standard thing to have these generic rocks here. And we're gonna slow them down again because we're gonna enter a slow orbit. Anybody who's watched the movie that I was talking about subtitling before when Slimnim was here, SDF Macross. Oh, we could do that. We could use the we could use this. That's kind of cool. There we go. It's SDF Macross. Do you remember love? I gotta say that little camera thing kind of comes in handy. And you know, basically this is the ship space. What is it? SDF-1. And they got little, like, you know, space aircraft carriers up on here. And in this movie, there's a scene where they are flying in the rings of Saturn in order to basically trick an alien fleet into, you know, I don't know, some diversionary tactic or some crap like that. Here, let me just let me make the camera blurry again so that we can have that nice ambiance, right? So here, let me make it blurry again. There we go. Ambiance. Look at that. I could open up a Starbucks if I want because I know so much about ambiance. So yeah, you're gonna have rocks and icy stuff in here too, right? So now, well, let's see. Do we want to look at a Saturnian moon? Saturn has moons. Oh, let's look at the hexagon, right? I said I'd look at the hexagon, didn't I? I did promise that. It's just like a parent saying we're gonna go to Disney World. As a dad, I promise. Okay, so you want to see the hexagon, huh? Hey, what's up, Justin Turner? Good to see you. Welcome to the show, if you can call this a show. But you know, it's a show, it's a discussion, it's a exploration. So I guess we're gonna start from a high angle first. So let me just get in position. I know there's a way for me to translate vertically. Well, actually, I don't know if there's a way to translate vertically. But essentially, yeah, I mean, like, we can even see hints of these vortices. But granted, this is data imagery that is derived from raw data from, you know, these various probes. But let's see, we're gonna try to come in from it shallow. And we're going to give the computer maybe an opportunity to generate. Now, if I remember correctly, when you approach something, yep, there we go. We get that loading circle on the top right corner. So I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is as I get real close to it, the loading circle is going to start chugging along. Okay, so it's forcing me to lower my velocity. Yeah, so it won't even let me increase my velocity. So unfortunately, it looks like there's not going to be much it's going to let me see unless I install a plugin or something cool like that, you know? Sometimes, like, that's how these apps go. They want you to install a plugin to see more cool stuff. And in fairness, this is considered a gas giant, right? So, you know, there's not much to see. So before we leave, you know what we should do is take a look at the big spot of Jupiter. Although I should point out that we do have, you know, Jovian moons. Okay, so we can track, we can go to an object like that one here. So, okay, this is going to be Tethys. Now, Tethys is pretty well documented. So we can actually see, well, I figured out how to rotate around it. Okay. You know, it's got like this lumpy rockiness. But we all know what's a cool moon? Titan. And I bet you we could find it with our eyes. Okay, that's Mimas. It's like what people, that dumb show Big Bang Theory, and the guy calls his grandma his Mima. Now, no offense to anybody who likes Big Bang Theory. That's cool. I mean, you know, you're cool. But, I don't know. Somehow Big Bang Theory rubs me the wrong way. You know, it's like, it's the problem is that, like, people who aren't nerds be like, oh, yeah, you remind me of that motherfucker Sheldon. And I'm like, ah. And it's, like, usually superficial. So this is, oh, whoops, I accidentally went to Alpha Centauri. But that's cool too. Now, I got an idea. I recently read a book called The Three Body Problem, and apparently there were aliens living in, I believe, around Proxima Centauri. And the problem was there's basically 3 stars that would like cause chaos. So if I fast forward time a lot, can we like see? No, we don't really see a lot. Okay, so we're gonna go back to normal time speed. Well, let's see. Let's rewind it a little bit. So yeah, nothing interesting there. So ooh, dizzy. But let's pick a nebula now. Let's pick something deep space. Now we can go in the. Now actually, we can go inside our own galaxy. And this is kind of cool. So we really want to be like, look, remember, all of those dust clouds and stuff, this is inside the plane of the ecliptic. And I know I said I would go to Jupiter, but one of the things I wanted to show today was how this game allows us to like kind of conceptualize the obscene scale or level of scale that we're dealing with when flying within a given spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. And at some point, I should be able to approach the thick part. Before I do, let's approach a known object. Because you gotta remember, like, we got nebulas, we got galaxies, and these are things that come up on astrophotography catalogs. Like, they have shit from real astrophotography catalogs listed here. I'm sure they have a lot of added in stuff here. Now, of course, not all of these nebulas will look the way they do in real life, because usually they're using special imaging filters like I use. But we do know, of course, a big enough nebula is going to have stars in it. I'm actually way too fast right now. Oh, a galaxy. Another galaxy. Now I'm going too far here because now I have to go at like 64,000 light years a second. Wait, 64 light years a second. Yeah, 80 light years a second. And we're sitting here for a while. We're going at some obscene speed. And it's still going to take a damn long time to get to this other galaxy, which I'm going to bet you is Andromeda. It is Andromeda. And this is why intergalactic travel is probably not something we can attain. But along the journey, what you'll sometimes see is like random objects like this, HIP 9733. So let's go and visit HIP 9733 because sometimes they add planets for fun, and other times they use real data from like, you know, what do you call it, like surveys. So that's the star, but if that's the star, what the heck is this? Because remember, it's not gonna be a star. It's gonna be a planet orbiting the star. Or oh shit! I should just hit the go-to button, but I sometimes like giving myself the challenge of flying in. We're currently going 50 AU a second. Earth is 1 AU. The distance between the sun and the Earth is 1 astronomical unit. Now we're going 10 AU a second. So obviously that's another star. But then what's this? Another star? And then we finally approach an exoplanet or exomoon. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. Oh, okay, well, now this is what this game, because this game they get to take creative liberty, right? And so the exoplanets, the exomoons tend to be more well, you know, surfaced just by virtue of the fact that we don't know what's on them, or we don't have enough info, so we kind of take poetic license at that point. Nobody's gonna say this information is wrong, because how can you get it wrong if you don't even know what's on it? You know, it's like we know it's wrong. But we would always go to Andromeda. Now, do we want to just save time and just go there the fast way? Screw it, let's just go. Let's just crank up our speed. Okay, there we go. Now we're going at warp speed, right? Okay, now we're going Enterprise speed. That's right. Warp 10. Engage. Da, 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 da. By the way, happy Star Trek Day. Happy belated Star Trek Day to all of you guys today. Oh boy. Now we're in interstellar space. We're seeing a bunch of shit that scares me. And yes, there is a dwarf galaxy next to Andromeda. This is usually, I think, what we see. We see something like this. In fact, I recently took some pictures of this. And that's something I need to sit down and do some processing with. And, you know, I know dark matter sounds like made-up bullshit. And I understand. I respect that position. But essentially, they use it as a placeholder in the equations because they don't think that there's enough mass in the galaxies to hold them together. And so that's what dark matter is. It's like a placeholder in the equations. I don't take it too seriously. I expect that either it'll be supplanted by something else in the future, or maybe like mainstream astrophysicists, especially people who write books, will cling on to it for as long as possible because, you know, their careers hinge on it. Now, obviously, I don't think we know shit about exoplanets in exogalaxies. So at this point, we're making some, like, you know, this is where we go into bullshitville. Let's pick that object and go to it. A red dwarf binary. That actually might be a real, actual catalog star, but I'm sure we don't know much else about it. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got two red dwarf stars side by side. And that's sometimes what you do on a telescope is you'll pick a star that looks like one star, and you'll try to figure out if you can split it, if you can turn it into two stars. But anyway, looks like everyone's going to bed soon. So I'm going to go back to our galaxy, I think. And if anybody drops in, I'll treat you guys to a spectacle. But if not, that's okay too. I'm going to just go and travel to the Pleiades. And that's inside our own galaxy. So we're back inside our galaxy. Just woke up. It's funny. I usually have to get up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning and Monday and Tuesday, but this is my Friday and tomorrow is my Sunday basically. Today's my Saturday. Well, you get the idea. Tomorrow is my last day off. So, you know, anyway, Pleiades is known as the Seven Sisters, and from a distance you see like 7 bright stars and a bunch of gas clouds around them. And so it's a pretty popular astrophotography target when it's in season. And what's that nebula over there? Ooh, the California Nebula. I sometimes take pictures of that. That one's one of the easier objects to take a picture of too. Now, it doesn't look like California from this angle, does it? There we go. It's starting to look like California now, right? Something like that. From a distance, it definitely looks like California. We're back in the limb of the Milky Way. What the heck is that? Oh, the Carina Nebula. That's a popular one. Oh, yeah. That's some nice crap right there. You know what? I think I know what I want to look at next. I want to look at like a planetary nebula. I want to look at a supernova remnant like the Crab Nebula. You can see here, I got to crank down my speed a bit. And how like, this is pretty much, you know, what it would look like, a static object at like relatively low speed. And yet, this is at high speed. And we got some dust clouds that are blocking out light, like almost like a shadow. And I want to see what happens if I fly inside one of those dust clouds. And we can see like a cluster of stars right in the corner here. Is that dark matter? Okay, I'm just messing around. What the heck is that shit? Homonucleus. Hell. You got me curious. Let's see what this Homonucleus Nebula is. Okay, it's like a homogeneous nucleus. Honestly, it looks like a supernova remnant or some, yeah, like you see how like you got like a bunch of stellar matter coming off the center of that. And so now let's go and do Crab Nebula. Why is the Crab Nebula so cool? Well, the Crab Nebula is very interesting because there was a supernova during Chinese times, and it was so bright. It was like brighter, it was about as bright as the moon. And it was up in the night sky for like months. And it was basically years later, if you look at this particular, that same region of the sky with a telescope, this is what you see. So obviously it's no longer producing that much light, but at some point, we believe based on Chinese records and ancient records from around the world, This was the site of a supernova that was visible from our part of the Milky Way. And I guess we should see, where are we? Where is Earth with relation to this? And okay, we're over there. We're that little crosshair. So essentially, we were watching this from where that crosshair is. We were way over there watching this supernova, and we were like, what the hell is that? And I'm sure people thought it was the end of the world. I'm sure people thought it was all kinds of things going on. Ooh, the small Magellanic Cloud. Where's the big Magellanic Cloud? I want to go to the Great Magellanic Cloud. See, basically, we have these mini galaxies next to the Milky Way that are still pretty far away, but like are pretty close to us. And you got the Great Magellanic Cloud, and you got the Small Magellanic Cloud. And in the book Forever War, they traveled to one of these via collapse star jump. And yeah, essentially, it's essentially a dwarf galaxy. That's why it resembles a galaxy. So we see it like a cloud, but I think we think it's got some kind of dimensionality like this, maybe. And of course, the light you're seeing is basically all of the stars that are in it. So now we just went inside of it, which is the wild thing. Like, you go inside the axis of any galaxy, and you're going to just suddenly be in a dense field of stars. And apparently I could land on objects here. I didn't even know I could do that. See, that's like a star very similar to our star. It looks like a G-type star. It says orange dwarf, actually, but it looks like a G-type star. We have a main sequence G-type star, which just means it's in a stage of its life. The main point in its life. What the F is that shit? Let's go visit that shit. I think before I end this, I'm going to go back to the solar system. That's kind of cool. It looks like either this is one of our exoplanet discoveries, or this is a made-up object. But it looks cool. This particular made-up object, I'm going to guess it's made up, has a crap ton of moons, it looks like. Or they're asteroids, but for some reason this gas giant doesn't have rings. It has moons. But there's a planet right over here. And this planet looks like it's got moons in orbit. Yep, dwarf moon, dwarf moon, dwarf moon. Can we land on this? Let's land on it. Land on object. That's what I should have clicked on when I was trying it out on. And we can see the loading bar in the top corner. Well, this one just looks like one of those confusing objects here that you can't really land on. It's there to confuse us. Or it's a gas giant. Probably a gas giant with like a suspected icy core. Let's go check out its moons. Alright, I just accidentally landed on it, but that's cool. Ooh, that's an irregular shaped object too. Which isn't uncommon, you know, if you had a dwarf moon, you're more likely to have some irregular shape than if you have a normal moon. The more massive it is, essentially, you know, it's going to shake itself like through earthquakes, or if it's in a molten magma stage, it's going to start turning into a shape that, you know, resembles a spherical planet. So let's get to Jupiter. I want to see what the big red spot looks like. If I can't see the red spot, it's either because I'm not... Is that it? I feel like that's not big enough to be the red spot. Let's fast forward time. Yeah, that's not the big red spot. I don't think it is. I think the big red spot... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's a big mother effing red spot right there. Oh, okay, we're going to get it on the next orbit. On the next rotation, I mean. Come on, Jupiter. Gimme. Oh, look at that. You see the shadows of one of the Jovian moons. That happens for real, actually, too. When we're capturing astro images, we see that happen a lot. Good. We're going to go in. We'll go and spin it up in real time. Now, unfortunately, it looks like this program is not going to simulate the storm pattern. If you ever see like the Voyager probe approaching Jupiter, it gets pretty cool. Like, in fact, I'm gonna look up that animated GIF real quick because it is one of the coolest things. It's either Galileo or Voyager approaching Jupiter. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna zoom in on that a bit. So yeah, this is like pretty much like what Voyager saw. And essentially they had to get like a bunch of like still images and record them in sequence and then transfer them back. But it's like one of the first times we saw that. And let me see if I can get like a YouTube video of that animation, because obviously a high quality video would be nice. Assuming these guys aren't trying to grift and make me donate money to their asses. Yeah, Planetary Society. That's not even their data. And this is, of course, back when the Voyager probe was relatively low resolution. But, you know, you see, like, it's like a hurricane now. This might be sped up a little bit, but it's not a gross exaggeration of what happens. I mean, you can clearly see, like, the colors of gases mixing and stirring and all of this crazy shit happening. You see different storm systems moving about. Now, this one's definitely sped up. That's like Saturn, but first time we saw Saturn up close. And I wonder if we have a Galileo approach, because that's what I want to see, right? I want to see the Galileo approach of Jupiter. You know what was cool? Actually, we did see Titan. In fact, that's a good idea. We should look for Titan. So Titan is one of the moons of Saturn, and what makes Titan cool is that it's got like this like nitrogen atmosphere. So there's not a lot to see from this angle, right? But at ground level, it has basically the same atmospheric pressure as Earth. And we have a rough idea of what the ground looks like. That's why it's able to generate this rocky pattern. Obviously, this isn't like accurate for the entire place, but we have pictures that resemble this. And what we do know is that Titan has, you know, rocky and icy surface, but it also has lakes of methane, which apparently are not being represented here. And usually you won't even see the ground at any altitude because the thick nitrogen atmosphere. But the fact is that you can stand on the surface of Titan. If you have, basically all you need is a really thick coat. Like you need to have like good winter gear. Okay, so you gotta have like a good winter coat, like a really good winter coat. And a respirator, a breathing apparatus. And if you have those two things, you can actually stand on Titan. Now we're gonna borrow some footage. This is from videos from space. So at 64 kilometers, 140 kilometers an hour, we see like a hill. So this is the planet I was just looking at. Or moon I was looking at just now. And obviously, it's not particularly habitable. But like I said, it's got the same atmospheric pressure that we have at sea level. And since it rains methane, well, no shortage of rocket fuel if you got methane. Weirdly, you can't really set methane on fire without oxygen. So suddenly an atmosphere of I would say the picture on the left is a more realistic representation. Oh, it's got 45% more pressure than Earth's atmosphere. Well, anyway, that was all fun and interesting. It looks like Utah. Oh my god, it's funny. It does kind of look like Utah, don't it? Maybe it is Utah. Maybe, you know, like that's what the conspiracy theory is. Oh, real quick. So before I end this, I'm going to close this out, but I want to show you my most popular video ever. Because I got another comment on it. Once in a while, I get comments on it. So if we click here, liking an elder of Zion's comment is kind of sus. I don't know what that means, but I get like bizarre comments. I love it, and this is my most popular video. So let's make sure the volume is up. If you don't want someone like now, I don't know if you have headphones on or not. I don't know if you want people to hear this, but number one, okay, real quick, 70,000 views in 6 years, 3.4 thousand likes, and I got 200 and something comments, which is about as many subs I got. But apparently these people aren't the subscribers. Some of them subscribe, but like some of these comments are a riot, and I got like random Russian people in here sometimes. So this is from the end of Evangelion movie. And one of my favorite comments is, wait, actually I gotta find that. Good, okay, good, okay. So I'm gonna play this back, then I'm gonna read my favorite comment. Yeah, that's what you just saw. You just heard Lady Scream say senpai. And yeah, you see Tang, which is not really Tang, it's called LCL. But yeah, and yeah, that's a hand. And my favorite comment is the one where the guy goes, My mom caught me watching this and said, "We'll talk later." So like that's just an awesome comment right there. I love it. I love it. But you got some people going, "What the hell is going on?" You got some people explaining what's going on. But if you watch Evangelion, you would know. At the end of the movie, for some reason, a bunch of people turn into this orange stuff that looks like Tang, which is called LCL. But if you have the will to live, you can remanifest your body and live again. So essentially, all the people who died in that scene or died under that condition can come back to life if they have the will to live. So it's all good. But with that being said, I think we're basically good here. I want to thank you guys for watching. And I'm not going to play other people's videos, but it's kind of cool that they got cool pictures here. Maybe sometime next week I'll do a video about the obscenely wide orbits of some of the dwarf planets, because that shit's cool. But other than that, what was I supposed to do? Oh, I was supposed to edit video. Yeah, well, I'm not doing that now. Doing that tomorrow. Yeah. I'm just happy that I didn't lose my 15 terabytes of data by accident. I'm so glad I was able to recover from that. That's also going to need to get a video. And you know, while I'm looking at my screen, I do want to recommend you guys subscribe to Makini Draws. He's a pretty cool dude. He's an artist. He draws voluptuous women and stuff like that, but not fat women, like, you know, women with big boobies and butts. So that's always good, right? So Makini Draws, he's a good guy. And with that being said, you know, about the end of this. So if you have any questions, comments, ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. And other than that, I want to thank David Glenn. I want to thank Justin Turner. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank Swashbuckling Supersonic Soprano September for dropping in. He changes his channel name every month, which is hilarious. I want to thank Zach's Tube, which we should definitely drop a link. I mean, I would invite everyone to drop a link, and I would even make people moderators just so they could drop links in here. That's weird. I'm not getting the button that lets me go to Zach's channel. Well, it comes up. It says Zach's Tube, and he's got Zach's and Zach's Tube. So I say subscribe to both Zach's and Zach's Tube. Although I really should make a list of links, because sometimes when I Google people's links, I get a bunch of this stuff that I'm not looking for. So there's that. But yeah, man, David Glenn, peace out, have a good night, and shout out to Disney Sheepherder and Company. And with that being said, I'm going to actually hit the end button, and let's see. I'm very curious to see if this end is abruptly or if it ends at the time. So we're going to end transmission on my mark.